Hey guys, it's Hunter here. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are excited for today's video. I know I am. I am back in front of my Halloween setup, still working out some lighting issues. I don't know if I want to have like a light on like I do now, or if I want to try to do it in like completely with like no lights, or if that's going to be too dark and you're not going to be able to see me. I don't know, so I'm going to be testing out different things. I'm also freaking sweating to death right now because it is always super hot in my room no matter what I do. I have 3 fans on all the freaking time. It's still hot as crap, so I don't even know what to do about that. But I had some free time. It's actually a Thursday night that I'm filming this on, so I had some free time and I had been doing some research and I really wanted to make videos about these places. So if you guys saw my previous video, it was a while back, but I started like I started a series called like Haunted Asylums and Prison Stories, and I talked about Alcatraz Prison, and I said I wanted to do more. Well, here I am with that more. So I'm trying also to not light my hair on fire. But so today I'm going to be doing another one of the haunted asylums, and I really want to make this like a popular thing throughout October on my channel, just talking about like famous haunted asylums and interesting places that I want to go. So I hope you guys do enjoy this like little mini series. I know I did. I loved researching all the information on these places, and I definitely want to go visit them. I think it would be so awesome to go see the ones that are open for tours. So yeah, today the asylum I'm going to be talking about is the Danvers State Insane Asylum. So I hope you guys are ready for this. If you are, make sure to like this video. Also, don't forget to click the subscribe button. I'm going to put in an annotation right here like I used to. I'm going to get back to my editing skills, so click that button if you want to subscribe. And yes, with that, let's get on into the video. Alrighty, so I'm going to again kind of give you guys the history first, and then we'll talk about the ghosts and things. So Danvers is actually, it sits on a hilltop, and it takes up 500 acres and actually has a view looking at Boston. Boston is about 15 miles down the hill, and so it is in Massachusetts, if you guys were wondering. It has had many names. As of now, it's the Danvers State Insane Asylum, but it was Hathorne, Prospect, and Dodges Hill at one point, and then they decided to just change it to Danvers. I don't know how they got Danvers, but that's the name they got. And it was purchased in 1874, and then it was under the supervision of Nathaniel Bradley, and he was the one that kind of like oversaw the building and everything of it, and he wanted it to be in a super rural location, so it's kind of out of the way. There's nothing really around it. They wanted it to be a very secluded place. And then in the okay, so basically this is like the backstory of how the Danvers kind of got into business. So in 1870s, they were closing down the facility that was in South Boston, and also in 1873, Worcester, Taunton, and Northampton were the other insane asylums that were around, and they were already housing 1,300 patients when their hospitals were only meant to hold 1,000, so they were very overcrowded and they had nowhere for these other patients to go, which is why they needed to open up Danvers, and it was a place that they could go and they could fill all of these other patients. There were so many patients coming in, and they just did not have enough room to house all of them. And then they also built on some additional buildings to the insane asylum. So they had a male and female nurses home that was added later, where this was basically the segregation of patients and staff. So the staff could actually go stay in these nurses home and receive training and everything, and it was like kind of away from where the patients were actually staying, so they didn't have to deal with that. And then there was also male and female tubercular buildings, and the Bonner Medical Building was added on later, so they had like a special ward for tuberculosis, because that was a big prominent disease back in the days. And so they opened up for business May 1st of 1878, and Dr. Calvin S. May was the superintendent till about 1880, so he was the one that kind of overran all the like things that were going on and everything. He was the main doctor that was running everything in the hospital. And they also opened up a training program for nurses in 1889 because they really wanted to educate their staff and be able to take care of the patients the best that they could. And then they also opened up a pathological research lab in 1895 to research pathogens and again just be overall more educated on everything. And in the 1920s, they actually began operating school clinics to detect mental deficiencies in children. Again, mental illness was a thing that back then was not understood. If you were different or anything, then you were considered to have a mental deficiency. So they would take you to these asylums even if you weren't like insane or anything. They would take you, so they were trying to like kind of rule out children at this time and take them away to the asylum. And then in 1960s, the population of patients decreased due to different methods. And in the 1960s, they founded like the Kirkham, something which basically showed a new approach to institutions and like a different way to approaching people with mental deficiencies and helping them out. They were very prominent on deinstitutionalizing, not putting people in institutions, but letting them heal through the community and different ways of treatment. So they just didn't have very many patients, and due to funding, they had to close their doors. So they closed on June 24th, 1992 due to all the budget cuts, and again, they just weren't getting any business anymore. And it was also known as the State Lunatic Hospital at Danvers, but then again, it got changed to just Danvers State Insane Asylum. So now I'm gonna so that was kind of like the main backstory history of the asylum and some of like the main points about the history. So now I'm gonna go into some kind of more of the like ghostly aspects of the asylum, things like that. So basically in the 1930s, they were super understaffed. Asylums were always super understaffed. There was always never enough people to come and work them. There was always too many patients. All these stories you hear about asylums, they're always housing way more patients than their institute was even like meant to hold. So in the 1930s, they were super understaffed that patients' deaths were not even discovered for days. So patients would die and a doctor or a nurse wouldn't discover their body for days and days on end, just because there was so many patients that the doctors couldn't even get to all of them, and they were super understaffed. So you could just die in your room and your body wouldn't be found till like 5 or 6 days later, which is super, super sad. And they would be found just like their bodies rotting, and that's how they would notice them, as they were stinking, their bodies were decomposing, which is super sad and also super gross that like they didn't even notice it. They're also known to use a lot of shock therapy and lobotomies, and they're known as the birthplace of the prefrontal lobotomy. So it's basically they're just like drilling into your brain and like messing around in your brain. It's like something I don't even want to know. A lot of the older asylums thought that that was like a good approach to fixing mental deficiencies, was like drilling into your brain and like trying to alter something to fix you. I don't even know, that's messed up on so many other levels, I can't even. And they also have a huge cemetery in the back of the institution where like there is patients that are buried there and things like that. And they have unmarked graves, like patients that died there and no family members or anyone claimed them. They just have a number on their grave, and that's how they were like marked, just a number. So there's lots of unmarked graves in this like huge cemetery. And also the institute was built on what used to be the Salem village where the Salem witches were. So there's also been many reports of ghosts of witches, which I mean, that's just like bad juju, because you start building a building where the Salem witch trials were, and then you make an asylum, that is not good juju. And so there has been reported of ghosts of women, children, witches, like all sorts of different ghosts have been reported. Weird noises have been reported, and it's just always been like that ever since the place has kind of done all that. And now the doors are closed and it is not open for tours, unfortunately. I would love to go on a tour of this asylum. I would love to go on a tour of any asylum. I think they're so fascinating. They have such an interesting backstory to me that I hope one day once I'm out of high school, I'll be able to go and travel and see some of these places and just really like understand the story and kind of like just explore. I think it would be so fun. So yeah, that is everything that I have for you about the story of the Danvers State Insane Asylum. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also give it a thumbs up for my shirt. I got this from lookhuman.com. Not sponsored, but I freaking love this shirt. It says, I can't come to the phone right now. And then it says, why? Oh, because I'm dead. And it has a skeleton on it. Like, isn't that the cutest thing ever? I love it. So I got that on lookhuman.com if you guys are interested. They have a bunch of Halloween shirts. that I love. I'm also selling a lot of stuff on my Poshmark now, like makeup and palettes and stuff. So I want to let you guys know about that. If you're interested in buying any of my stuff, check out my Poshmark. It'll be linked below. It's just Hunter Wyllie, my name. You can find me. I am selling one of these extra shirts if you guys are interested, because I accidentally ordered two, but I love this one and it says OMG, I'm like literally dead. Isn't that like so freaking cute? So I love that. So yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, stay spooky, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye guys.